Hey everyone, how's it going? Joe back here. I'm hoping I can do this every game. I'm probably gonna give up on it. Probably definitely gonna give up on it. But for every day of the playoffs, I'm hoping this is something we can um turn into a thing where we kind of just review what happened today, who went crazy, who had an off game, and just kind of talk about how we think it's gonna impact the series moving forward. And see if any of our ideas change for how the series might end. Um, so yeah, we had what, four NBA games today. April 20th. I wish I could have partaken. I was at work. April 20th. We have four NBA games and two NHL games. And yeah, let's just jump right into it with the first game of the day. We had the Magic versus the Cavaliers, and don't mind me, I'm pulling up my stats. Um, yeah, the Cavs won it 97 to 83. A rather convincing win. What was I gonna say? It's kind of when it comes to your starting five, I feel like just by the way, I know a lot more about hockey, so I'm just gonna try to bullshit my way through the through the basketball. I know some, but if I mess up, just let me know in the comments. I feel like we got what we expected out of all of our starters for both teams. You know what I mean? Like Donovan Mitchell, I think he had plus 30, or was it Mitchell or yeah, Mitchell had 30. Garland probably could have done a little better, but Bankero, you can't blame Bankero for the loss. Wagner, all the starters kind of just did their jobs. Harris had no points, but I just feel like the difference was on the bench. You got players like Wendell Carter Jr. and Ingles who did not. I feel like both teams' benches did nothing, and I feel like the area where the Magic are going to need to win this series is off their bench because, I mean, the starters for the Cavs, I mean, they just blow the starters for the Magic out of the damn water. Especially in terms of name, like I said, I don't know how they match up. I don't pay I don't pay that much attention. But I'm telling you right now that Donovan Mitchell is probably better than any player on the Magic. So, in my eyes, the way that the Magic need to beat the Cavaliers is with their bench, and neither bench showed up. If the bench showed up for the Magic, they would have stood a much better chance. I think we got exactly what we expected to get out of players such as Bencaro and Suggs and stuff. I don't think none of them went off or anything crazy. Like they might maybe we need a little more from those guys in order to win the series. I'm not sure. It's a 4 or 5 matchup. It's not like you're going against the goddamn Celtics. It's not like Big Carroll needs to be wild every night. No, you just need to have a full team effort and you put in the bench and that didn't give you the spark you needed because it wasn't that big a lead when they put in the bench. It was like a 5 point lead and then the what was I gonna say? The Cavs just went off. I could say the same complaint about the Cavs. I don't think the Cavs bench scored until like late second quarter, and I think it was like one free throw. Um, but yeah, so I haven't given my NBA predictions yet because I've been waiting for Mike, but he's like way too busy to do anything because he's annoying and has a full-time job, like I should. But I think I probably would have taken the Cavaliers in 6 before this game, and I still don't see any evidence to dismiss that thought, right? I mean, it was a home game for the Cavaliers. Uh so we got to see how the Magic perform at home. It's one game, I highly doubt too much of tonight will differentiate how I think a series will go because it is just one game. There is one instance where I'm a little iffy on tonight, changing things up, but yeah, that is all I really have to say about that game. That game I was only able to listen to. This game I was only able to listen to a little bit, but I think given the stat sheet, I can just basically get the gist of the Suns Timberwolves game, and that's just players need to be better for the Suns. So Grayson Allen, I don't know how bad is he injured, guys. Leave a comment. You're not even watching this. I have like 2 views on every video I've ever made. Is great. How injured is this guy? Like, is he gonna be back next game? I hope so. He's actually been a great point because everyone always talks about Grayson Allen, like, oh, he's such a dirty son of a bitch, and I'm sure maybe he is, but he's actually scoring a lot of points this year. Like you look at his stat sheet, usually Grayson Allen's doing pretty damn well for himself. So hopefully he gets back to health with the Suns. This was the Kevin Durant show in terms of the Suns and nothing more. KD, did he get 30? We got 30. Did he get 30? We got 31. That's how many points. So 31 for KD. The next highest was Booker with 18. And I swear to God, I'm pretty sure Booker barely had 10 to enter the fourth. This is a big three. You're talking about a super team here. It's just, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You need all three of those guys to show up. You have KD, Beal, and Booker have an all right game. You're winning that game, right? I mean, you don't need to have a super game from all of them. That's kind of the idea of a super team. You have three amazing players play average, and you're going to win. They did not. They sucked. KD still got it though, because from what I heard, the shots that KD was making, like it's not like he was like making some crazy plays, getting open and shit. He was just making some crazy shots. He was just jumping over suckers, like shooting wherever the hell he wanted to on the floor. That's KD. That's KD. And no one else did anything to help him. Meanwhile, on the other end of the floor, Anthony Edwards, 33 points, so just a little more than KD, so kind of canceled him out, to be honest. Karl Anthony Towns had a really good second half because I remember when I stopped listening at halftime because that's when the Hurricanes and Islanders game came on. I remember Cat was having a, I want to say, an off game in terms of scoring because he didn't really. I think he had like 1 point halfway through the second or some crap like that. Like he had one free throw and then missed the next one. But yeah, no. Cat didn't have the best scoring game at first. It definitely looks like he came alive in the second half. But I'll tell you one thing I definitely friggin' picked up on is Rudy Gobert's 16 rebounds. Like that's crazy. That is something that you're gonna have to watch out for sure. I still don't want to change that much. You can still, yeah, no, I'm not changing my pick. My pick is probably going to be Suns and six on this one. I'm not changing it. They got their asses handed to them. Season series, the Suns swept it. Think I I think they said that the Timberwolves never even led by 10 in the season series. Obviously, that did not feed into what happened here tonight, but it does indicate that the stars, the sun and the stars, the Suns know how to beat the Timberwolves. So, I like both teams. I feel like I want the Suns to win because I feel bad for the friggin' for the fans for the Suns because they just lost the damn Coyotes. So I definitely want the Suns to win this series because I feel bad. Wouldn't be mad if the Timberwolves did. I always love Minnesota teams, but I gotta pull for the Suns on this one. I feel bad for them. 76ers. Whew, this was a hell of a stomach turner, huh? So who started with the lead? The Sixers started with the lead, and then the Knicks came back. And right after the Knicks came back, Embiid gets hurt and goes to the locker room. It looks bad for Embiid. Um, the half happens. They come out after. Yeah, dude, the Sixers only scored 12 in the second quarter. Um, After the half is over, the Sixers come back and take the lead again. Embiid is back, by the way, here. And then in the fourth quarter, the Knicks outscore them by 10 and end up winning the game by 7. What a roller coaster of a game. This is exactly like the kind of playoff game I enjoy watching in basketball. A bunch of lead changes. You never know who's going to get hot when. Storyline stuff going on, especially with Embiid. We hate injuries. Hate to see it. I would rather it have been another kind of storyline, but at least he did come back. Hopefully he's full health because he was playing really well before he ended up going out to injury. Let's look at stats here. Yeah, he had 20 or at the end of the game. 29 points, Maxey 33. So everyone was talking about, is this Tyrese Maxey's turn to like come in? Harden's gone. Tyrese Maxey, he had to step up this year, and he did. Tyrese Maxey, he's a great secondary scorer for the Sixers. If I recall, when I started watching basketball, he was coming off the bench. So he's definitely, and he was great off the bench. He was great off the bench. Um, he's definitely ingrained himself as a more solid player though than someone who's going to provide you a little spark off the bench. He's someone that you want to start and use to get a roll on. But enough about the Sixers because they lost. If Embiid did not leave the game, would they have won? I firmly do believe so, but obviously we have no way to confirm that. Next game, hopefully they'll have Embiid for the whole game, and we will see because obviously game two will also be in the Knicks' home. Um, yeah, so let's see. We had three players above 20 for the Knicks. We got Hart, Brunson, and McBride. I barely even heard of this fucker, McBride. All right, he's been a great scorer for them lately. And then obviously Brunson, but yeah, no, I mean the Knicks answered the 76ers hot streaks of their own, and that's kind of how you need to play basketball. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say on this. I was mostly watching the Canes game during this one too. Um, but it was definitely, like I said, it was definitely a roller coaster of a game. Who do I pick in the series? See, that's so complicated on Embiid's health. It really is. I'd probably take Sixers and seven if Embiid stays healthy, but if he doesn't stay healthy, Knicks in whatever games he doesn't play because I don't think that the Sixers have much of a team without him. I think the only person who can really contribute offensively in that case would be like consistently would be Maxey. Arguably, Lowry. I mean, you could have like your games with Batum and Oubre, but no, if you want to play seriously in the way, um, I don't think anyone will be consistent with Embiid gone other than Tyrese Maxey. So they're going to need to keep Embiid in this one if they want any chance of winning. And if they do keep Embiid, I think they will win because any one of those guys can go off any night. Was I gonna say Oubre or Lowry or whatever. I think Maxey will be consistent every night. But those guys, as long as Embiid and Maxey are doing their thing, and then they have some rando, like not rando, but secondary scoring, someone going off on there, then I think the Sixers will be fine. But obviously, Embiid missed a big chunk of the game. 20, or I'm sorry, 3 20-point scores for the Knicks is going to do that to you, and Knicks come out with a win. Lakers Nuggets. This I definitely did not watch much of. I will be so blatantly honest because, but let's see. Yep, of course. LeBron 27, AD 32. LeBron at the end of the game, I did see that. That is concerning. Watch how he fell. I don't like it. His arm, you can kind of see like ripple up near the top. He's probably gonna play through it because it's LeBron. I think he did end up finishing the game. Why did I say I think? I watched it. He did end up finishing the game, but it was 13 seconds left. So I didn't like what I saw. I really didn't. I hope that I missaw it, but yeah, LeBron went down pretty hard. It was just another classic game of Jokic hitting friggin' everything. Even what was I gonna say? So I did watch a lot during the Bruins intermission. Murray was electric. He was kind of the spark that because the Lakers took an early lead, and Murray was kind of the spark, not Jokic to get them back. Obviously, Jokic was handling the ball a lot, but in terms of everything else, yeah, Jamal Murray had a double double. Um, I would say he had a better game than Jokic, even though actually, just the parts I saw, he had a better game than Jokic. Jokic also had a double double, but with rebounds instead of assists, and 10 plus points. But yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about this because I didn't really watch the game. You know what I should do in the future? I should see how it's dark out. This is right after the game's ended. I should watch the highlights in the morning and then do this crap. But this isn't even what I really wanted to cover. I wanted to talk about hockey. So that is why we are here right now, because I want to talk about this. But first, we're going to talk about the Carolina Hurricanes defeating the New York Islanders. So if you didn't know, by the way, every home team today won. So that's entertaining as hell, right? No, no, it really isn't. But yeah, every home team today won, including the Carolina Hurricanes, who it's hard. It's really hard to say what I thought about the Canes in this game. The first period, I thought for the Canes it wasn't good. For any other team, that was an okay period. You had 8 shots on net. You played the Islanders equally. Um, I think the Islanders also had 8 shots on net. It looked fine. The Carolina Hurricanes standards though were up here, so just they had an all right first. Second period was abysmal, chance after chance after chance for the Islanders. Islanders obviously a more defensively minded team. I did not think they'd come out swinging like this, but they definitely came out swinging. And the Canes were very, very fortunate that Frederik Andersen had their back. And in the third period, that was classic Canes hockey. They finally woke up. They who got that goal there? Was it Nason? I think Nason got the go ahead goal, and then Nature's obviously potted the empty netter to win it. I didn't mention Kuznetsov's goal in the first like 2 minutes, by the way. Kuznetsov started it on the power play. But yeah, so let's talk more about like what happened in the game. So it was surprising. It surprised me how the Islanders came out because that didn't look too much. If everyone jokes about Islanders hockey, I joke about how boring the goddamn thing is. But they really did come out swinging on offense in this game. There are quite a few chances for them throughout every period, except maybe the third. The third, they looked dead in the water. They looked like normal Islanders, and which is kind of weird. Why would you play defensively when you're down? I don't freaking know because that was the only time where they were really down because they tied it up quite quick after Kuznetsov got the opening goal. Um but yeah, I mean there were certain points like Aho's turnover to Barzell where Barzell had a clean shot on it. Freddie made the save. There were a couple of like instances where like the Canes couldn't get it out of their zone, and I did not expect that from the Islanders tonight. Not at all, especially opening night at PNC. I did not expect that. So props to the Islanders. I think a big part of that is Patrick Waugh. This series just happened last year. Obviously, the Canes 1-6. Patrick Waugh probably saw exactly what the Isles did right and what they did wrong, what they needed to work on. He's a very intelligent hockey mind, and they worked on it. And the result was they looked convincing. They looked comfortable against the Canes. They did end up losing, but I'm pretty confident in this Islanders team to at least string together a couple of wins, and that's more than a lot of people will give them credit for. It's more than I would. I was laughing about this damn matchup. I still, compared to some of the other matchups, I still laugh at this matchup. So don't take that with a grain of salt. Or do take that with a grain of salt. But no, the Islanders, there's some thought behind their play. They're not just playing typical Islander hockey. I would hope not. But no matter what, you're gonna see memes about it because everyone likes to joke about it. What was I gonna say? Yeah. But you watch the Canes 2 goals that were non-empty netters. They were right in front of the net. You always want to set up camp there in front of the net. It's always good to get it to the slot. The Islanders are going to have to defend the slot a lot more. What I didn't like was the embellishment. Both sides, huge embellishments. Mike Riley was like holding his friggin' mouth, and everyone thought there was blood. And he's, I'm fine. Just wanted to make sure you saw. He eye sticked me. Sent him to the box. They didn't send him to the box. And then friggin' who was it? Palmieri like taps the back of Shea's skate, and he goes down, penalty on Palmieri. Like, I get it. I get it. You got to call the penalty on Palmieri. But he embellished clearly. You call that too. It's because I don't want to see it. I hate seeing flopping. So they did cancel each other out. So that did make me feel better. But I just don't want any flopping in the NHL. I don't want it. There's enough of that in the NBA. And they're quite famous for it. And I can proudly say that the NHL does not flop nearly as much. But yeah, so at the beginning, in my other video, I did do a bracket for the NHL. I said Canes in 5. Um, I I want to say 6 now. Like I understand the Isles lost, but they showed me something. But then there's another part of me that's saying this was like the best game for the Islanders. Like they played S tier Islander hockey. The Canes did not play S tier Cane hockey. That's the thing. It was the best game that the Islanders could have played, paired up with not the best game that the Canes could have played. So it's like I don't know. So I think I'll sit with 5, but I am, as the kids say, edging 6. Now let's get to the Bruins. Can't boast too much. Cannot boast too much. We don't know what it has in store. I'm a nervous man because this is not the same Bruins team as we had the other times we beat the Leafs, but this was a great, great start. Oh, that Beecher goal. Jesper Boquist has been the best player for the Bruins, other than our goaltending, arguably, for the past 2 weeks. He is fast, he can move the puck well, and he thinks hockey. He could have taken that shot. He saw, I forget who it was on defense on that 2-on-1. He saw them go down, waited for them to go down, the patience to wait for it, and then feed Beecher. Genius. I love it. I loved everything about it. There were the only complaint I have about the Bruins. I love to complain about the Bruins. I scream at them. I screw these guys. I love to do it. That's how you know they played a good game. I only have one complaint, and it's that you guys need to stop taking some boneheaded moves, or not taking. Not so much the penalties. It was doing bonehead moves. That friggin' Swayman thing, where he tried to play it out of the net after I don't even know who gave. I thought the I thought that move was like the dumbest shit, like the guy giving up the potential breakaway. And then I saw the dumbest shit, which was Swayman going out to play it and on Matthews. He left an open net for Matthews, and he hit the post. Matthews, you have to get that in. Thank you for not getting it in, but how do you miss that? You got 69 goals and you miss an empty damn net? That's crazy to me. I accept it though. I like that. But there were a couple other instances. Lindholm when he left the penalty box after serving. So the cross check call at the end of the first period that really pissed me off. It was not a cross check. Who was it? Was it Marner? Marner tripped over Swayman, and Lindholm just happened to be holding his stick like this, and they were like, "He hit him! He hit him!" But he didn't hit him. Um, and I'm not a Lindholm defender of the season, by the way. I really do like Lindholm, but the season he's been ass. Um, Lindholm goes to the box after 2 minutes in the second period. He comes out of the box, and instead of thinking about covering a man, he goes directly to the bench, and someone skates right by where he was on a breakaway. I forget who it was. Luckily, Swayman bailed him out. But oh my God, I was watching and I was like, how did that happen? Like, how did we just let this guy get out of there? And then I saw the replay and I was like, Lindholm, you freaking idiot. So that's what we need to work on. That's what the Bees need to learn from this game is you had a there were more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Some real stupid things you guys did. Overall, your game was very, very good. The Leafs outshot the crap out of you, but I think you had better possession, more time on possession. I think the Leafs were just trigger happy on it, and obviously Swayman was quick to answer for him. So, could you have played better? Of course, you could have played better, but I don't think there was anything about this game that's making me puke my damn guts out for the Bruins. For the Leafs, there are actually quite a few things. I think we definitely took the body to the Leafs a lot more than they did. That Pat Maroon hit into the bench was beautiful. What did Jack Edwards say? Have a nice trip, Lilligren, or some beautiful Jack Edwards shit. Morgan Geeky had a couple good hits in the third. Geeky was a force tonight. He was awesome. But yeah, I think Toronto needs to step it up more physically. I think I wouldn't be surprised if next game they started with the Reeves line. Just let Ryan Reeves go at it. Maybe Montgomery counters with the Maroon line. Maroon and Reeves go at it. That would be insane. That would be awesome. I'm surprised there wasn't a full blown fight. I mean, Domi and Marchand almost fought off the get go. That was crazy. Special teams. Special teams for the Canes. Let's talk really quick about that. I forgot. Special teams for the Canes looked really, really good. Their penalty kill allowed absolutely no chance for the Islanders in any of the scenarios, and they scored in the first like 30 seconds on the power play. So there was a couple other power plays that they didn't score on, but they looked fine. Nothing really to worry about. Bruins were exactly the same. They scored two power play goals and arguably, actually, I'm sorry, they scored one power play goal. The third goal was a power play goal, and that was arguably their worst power play that they scored that goal. Their other two power plays before that were unbelievably good. They were really lighting up Samsonov. They just couldn't get one past him. So the fact that we scored on our worst power play, that's a good thing. And then the Leafs obviously went over 4 on the power play. Not for a lack of trying, but definitely were assisted by the Bruins. I'll tell you what, I understand. DeBrusque, I'll give DeBrusque the first star in my heart, but I was this close to saying he doesn't get it. Not because anything he did wrong, but because of so many things that Beecher did right. Maybe I'm a Beecher lover. I have connections with Beecher, but he had a everywhere you look, he had a great game. He was hitting people. He was like diving, poking it out on the PK. Even not on the PK, I'm pretty sure he had one of those scenarios, and he scored a goal. Beecher looked great tonight, and that's what you love to see. You look at the lines on paper. If you're not a Bruins or a Leafs fan, and you recognize so many more Leafs depth players than Bruins depth players, um, but you need this is when people become legends. So Beecher, have yourself a series. Maybe you'll be recognized on more on more rosters. People will be like, oh yeah, that's a Johnny Beecher kid that lit up the Leafs. This is when that shit happens. So keep it up. What do I think is gonna happen in the series? I'm superstitious. That's where I sit on it. I'm I don't if the Bruins make the second round, I have no problem commenting. However, the Leafs piss me off. So I don't want to jinx myself against this team. What was I gonna say? Quick Leafs perspective. I just realized I didn't do that. They just need to be better all around. Matthews was the only player that I noticed occasionally, like really stepping in there. The Kampf goal was a very nice goal to start off the period for them. I have no complaints about giving up that one. It was a beautiful goal. Saying that about the Leafs is a very good goal. Um, but it's just one of those situational things. Kampf had 8 goals over the course of the entire year. It's not like, oh, thank God we got this guy on the board. No, Matthews needs to come out stronger. 'Cause I noticed him, but it wasn't Matthews. It was like oh, I've seen this player a few times. It wasn't like, oh, there's Austin Matthews that we all know and love. I hate. Um, so yeah, we saw Matthews, but not what we thought we'd see of Matthews. We did not see Marner. Marner was nowhere to be found. Tavares occasionally was here or there. Morgan Riley was neither here nor there. The Nylander wasn't in the game. Nylander should be back for game 2, if I'm correct. I think he woke up like a little awkward on Thursday, they said. I didn't even know he wasn't going to make it until like today, that he wasn't going to be in the game. But the Leafs need those big guys to step up. I know in the 2018 series, the 2019 series as well, it was even I'd say like 20 as well. So it's gotten better since then. But back in those days, it was all Nylander when it came to the big stars for the Leafs. Matthews disappeared in the playoffs. Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner had more delay of game penalties than he had goals in one of the playoff series. This is not a joke. Like it's really not. That happened. He had like 4 delay of games and like 3 goals in a 7-game series, some crap like that. It was so funny. So I guess it is a joke because it was hilarious. But he disappears. The Leafs need those guys to show up. If those guys don't show up, they might as well just wave the white flag as long as the Bruins keep playing like this. If those guys show up, they can counteract that. Now, what do I want to happen? Not that, but trying to be trying to see things from multiple perspectives here. The last thing I'll comment on is goaltending. Um, for all sides, I was very extremely surprised that Sorokin did not start tonight. It was Varlamov. I love Varlamov. He's one of the most underrated goalies in the league. And he held his own tonight. So good choice. Freddie over Kochetkov, ride the hot hand, cool. Swayman, correct choice. Samsonov, I would have gone with Wall. Now, the other question is, are we shuffling goal? I think all four of those teams have an argument to shuffle your goalies, right? I mean, who didn't play tonight? Ilya Sorokin, Peter Kochetkov, Linus Olmark, and Joseph Wall. Those are four solid goalies. So who should shuffle in and out goalies? What do I think? I think just the Leafs should. I think you ride the hot hand with Swayman. I really do. I think if Swayman has if even if we win game two and he has a moderately okay game, like maybe he gives up three, but we score four, you owe Mark game three. I think riding the hot hand is what you do. Swayman had an unbelievable game. Samsonov had a bad game. You shuffle him out for Wall. In terms of Varlamov, I guess I'd go to Sorokin. I guess I would go to Sorokin. Um, and Anderson, I mean, he had an unbelievable. I'd ride Anderson. Actually, okay. I would ride Anderson. And it's not just because those guys won. It's just because those two went. I mean, like I said, so Varlamov also had a terrific game, but I would probably just shuffle him out. It's a confidence thing in wins and losses. But I wouldn't be mad at either choice for any of those teams. Even for the Bruins, if we wanted to go with Omark, after last year, us keeping in Olmark when we clearly shouldn't have. I mean, it wasn't even because we needed to shuffle out goalies. Olmark was clearly injured, and we kept him. I'm not going to go into last year. But yeah, see, this goes to show how little I know about the NBA in comparison, right? 2 games with the NHL, I talked like for more time about those two than the entire friggin' NBA, and I definitely at least sounded like I know what I was talking about. But yeah. Hopefully this turns into a thing. I could get Mike in here. Next time, like I said, I will actually watch all of the highlights and shit for the games that I might miss a little bit. I just really was excited to talk about hockey. I mean, no one's watching this, so I don't really care if I sound like an ass. But if you are watching this, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I will be back tomorrow for tomorrow's games. Or maybe I'll be back on Monday, to watch the highlights that morning. Good night.